Well, hello. You are watching GMODISM channel. This is your host Eric, and today I'm going to show you the fruits of my constructions, or something like that. Anyways, forever ago I started to build on a new set of armor pieces, stuff, shapes, whatever you see in front of you. And then I just let it sit and rot on my hard drive for a good amount of time. And before the solid state bit states get dissolved, so we have corrupted data and can't access this anymore, I thought that we should reactivate this crap and, you know, get it into fruition of some kind and just not have a plethora of things sitting on my hard drive and not getting finished. I had this problem. I have too many projects at once, and you may already know this from just, I don't know, existing on this channel. So in any case, we should finish this off, and I've already done that actually, but I'm gonna show you the results and we're gonna go through what the hell is even this. So this is pretty straightforward. These are shapes, you know, construction shapes, so we can kind of speed up the production a little bit of the exterior of a hull and get a nice looking inside without too much effort. I like to keep a thin exterior shell to kind of take the edge off the first blast of plasma and, you know, impacts, and this is like gimping hash and stuff like that. Next up we have this. This is what I call armor stickers, and that's because you can see we are using basically as many offsets as we can. So we're having a lot of these, you know, what are they called? 4-meter offsets. And it's basically me trying to put in as many 4-meter offsets as possible into a shape that still kind of looks nice. And here too, I took some liberties to make a nice shape. So it's actually this pattern that's offsets, and then we have normal blocks. This is probably my favorite armor sticker in terms of functionability, function. As you can have a lot of them like that, and it still looks a-okay. You probably remember from the Gimlet class. Maybe if we're lucky, we can get the loading screen of the Gimlet class. And we got it, but unfortunately the loading screen of the Gimlet is not the one showing what I wanted to show you. So whatever. But I basically made, before, I can actually show you this. Going to Armour and the Slab 12 system, and then we have the diamond pattern. So here we have... that's actually not it. That was a weird experiment. So we have the Slab 12 system, by the way, is the thing I wanted to replace with some new stuff, because the Slab 12 system, it's basically I thought that it would be a good idea to integrate the spool liner, spool catcher, and exterior hull into the like same slab, and that turned out to not be the best idea. But I put together, I mean, it can be nice sometimes, so I shouldn't say I moved away from it completely, but yeah, you can see it opens up some problems later on. Yeah, the staggered era armor and stuff like that is probably the most useful in here, to be honest. And then we have the HB sponge armor, which I realized later that checkerboards is inferior to just making sandwiches. It's good to composite the armor like this, but it's better with sandwiches than checkerboards due to a explosive function or glitch, or yeah, basically in tight spaces explosive damage does more damage We're gonna do some more tests about that later, by the way, but yeah. Anyways, I had this before using a cover of, this is what I wanted to show you, but a cover of 4 meter square corners like this to kind of have a chance to redirect hash, because the hash damage is proportional to the surface it hits, and if it hits a 90 degree or 45 degree surface like this, it will kind of go up there instead of going straight in, and thus probably doing some less damage. So that is not as much the effect of this, but the really cool thing, I really should get to the point, my ladies and gentlemen, I can't get to the point. That is that a 4 meter offset has a 25% health bonus. You can see here, extra health from 5 meter length. And that's the best in the game, because you can see the beam here, it has a 20% health bonus. So that means that the offset has 5% more than any other block. And that's like true for if you go to these large blocks, like these 7 meter ducts and whatever, they don't have this bonus for being large. And you might ask, why does the game give you a health bonus for like having large blocks? And that's to decrease lag, you know? If people are building with only 1 meter blocks, they don't get the health bonus. So you can see this one has a 10% bonus because it's 2 meter. This has 15. Here we have 20. And then the only block in the game who has 25 bonus is the 4 meter offset. I think it's the only one at least. Yeah, it is. Yeah, so this is the most health point boosted. So the idea is, since this is the most bang for your buck in terms of armor and health and stuff like that, the thought is to paste this on the armor of a ready-made structure. So you can kind of like take this shape and, you know, slap it onto whatever hull you're building on like this, and then you get like a much more efficient armor. Yeah, that's kind of the thought. By the way, if you want my loading screens, you can download them for free. Just go to GMODISM.com and you can browse to the download page. Yeah, the download page will have you provide an email, but you can make up an email. You don't need a real email. And if you download the loading screens, they will mix in with the games, like pre-existing loading screens. And then, yeah, you kind of see these as well. Fun fact. The Army of GMODISM loading screens is much better quality images than the in-game ones. And the entire folder still weighs 25 megs. So yeah. I don't know if you wanted to know that, but you've probably seen it. You can see one. Yeah, here we can see. Like the in-game, the pre-made one in-game, you can see it's really blocky. A lot of artifacts here in this JPEG. In any case, that's the armor stickers. So that's cool, and I took this project further and thought that, like, shouldn't we make like onion armor? So imagine you're facing a plasma craft. You should probably have a onion layer like this. So that's what this is. This is onion armor. We're gonna go through them a little bit more in detail when I spawn in the final results. This is, of course, the optimal anti-kinetic spike. So if you're facing sabot, armor piercing, heavy heads, basically penetration shells of any kind, this is like the most acute angle you can have. As you can see, this is a more acute angle. So there is something to be said for 4 meter wedges like this too. But thing is, this has 20% health bonus, whereas the 4 meter offset has 25% health bonus. So yeah, this costs 50, this costs 62. Yeah, so this has 4,000 health almost, whereas this has 3,000 health, so it's a good bit more health per block too. So this effectively has the best anti-penetration capability when we're dealing with armor piercing and piercing things except Pierce Pack, of course. When it comes to Pierce Pack, your good old heavy armor duct is probably the best thing you know. But after looking at this video, you will have a better alternative. Yeah. So that's what this is, some anti-penetration spikes. Here we have some standard backstacked era. You may know that if you backstack era, you make the explosion of the like heat shell or whatever not really get anywhere. I should probably just... yeah. If we start doing some imperial testing in this darn video, it will be an hour at least, so let's just keep to the point. I'll give you empirical testing videos later where I show you this, okay? Let's do that. So this is my Q8 system. It's a quad, Q as in quad, because quads is really spelled with Q, is it not? It's not. But it's backstacked era variants, and what I basically made here is a little lower version, so you can see when you shoot at this entire row will go off and be unprotected, which is not optimal. But if this goes off, only 2 blocks get destroyed, or 1 block dependent on where you shoot. And in this particular layer, there are some angles where you could potentially penetrate through here. Like here. So then I basically added like an extra layer of era so that it doesn't matter in what angle you shoot, nothing will get through, was the idea. Yeah, something like that, because yeah. Also it's 6 meters high, so a lot of ships 8 meter stack is a little bit too tall and 2 meter stack is a little bit too little. So then I wanted something in between, so then I made this little era backstack block. Here we have a weird checkerboard era backstack, and I kind of realized that this isn't a good idea, since I can show you actually. So if we, for example, get shot, I'm just gonna take this thing here, and we're just gonna do like this. You can kind of see that if we get hit in the exact wrong angle here, a shell can actually get through. So it's a bit, it's a bit of Russian roulette using this type of backstacked era. So I actually ended up canceling this. Cancelled. So yeah. This, however, is a little bit better. The angle where it can get through still kind of exists, but it's much smaller. And we also have built-in Spool catch on all of the blocks. So this system is, while it's not foolproof, it is really good against a lot of things. So I ended up saving this. And then I got my big brain movement. I sat down and just had some big brain thoughts with Pepsi Max, and realized that if you like stack era and beams in a weird way, you can kind of make a weird cluster pattern that's stackable. And then I thought, this shape looks hella ass. So I just took it, parted up, and created the creation. Optimal backstacked era. So here we have, it's backstacked era, but it's optimal. You only detonate 1 piece per blow, and the angle where things could get through is really small. Especially if you stack it in this direction, they'll have to come from like straight above, down like this. And that's like the only angle, otherwise it's perfect. So unless you're dealing with cram mortars, this could penetrate the armor, but what the hell, if you're dealing with cram mortars, no armor in From the Depth will be able to protect you. You have to pray for some armor of God or whatever to survive, and I don't think you can get that in From the Depth. In any case, that's the crap I've been working. Oh yeah! You know, I said that you may think that heavy armor duct is the best anti-penetration block in the game. Well, you're wrong. The large gearbox wide steam bit drill is better. This is 50,000 health. Oh yes, my ladies and gentlemen, 50,000 health at the cost of 2,500, you know? And this jackass costs 2,000 and it only has 37,000 health. Whereas the wide bit steam drill here, can I select the block please? It has 50,000. This is the highest health block in the game, and per materials spent, this is cheaper. So this is the optimal anti-penetration armor. I made a little heavy armor frame to kind of keep it in place. And there is only like this, and this is like the weak spot. But this, like all the other places, it's covered with at least one, usually two wide bit drills. So you won't get through this very easily, I can tell you that. Yeah, let's look at the results too. And it's definitely time to say big thanks to all of the commissioned officers in the army of GMODISM, most notably Admiral Dragon X62, Commander Ben Volke, Delphin, Lieutenants Ali, Anto, Kraby, Flores Dagan, Daniel Saikin, Owen, Powered by Greed, Vincent Veritas, Volkite, Rick Prell, and Scooby Rocks. Your monthly support helps me a lot to create these videos and all of these stuff for you. And when you're watching this video, I hope, I think, I've been, I have updated, remember me if I didn't. I updated the files, so everything you've seen in this video you can access through the updated commissioned officers files. There is actually some extra things too. Let's see if you can find it, because that will be coming up in future videos. I'll need to go through them in videos, but there are some more things that is actually done already too. But in any case, big thanks to all of you commissioned officers, and you cadets, of course, you have access to the files as well. And big thanks to Chancellor Super Dave, who is a member of the government of GMODISM. And as of now, you can access the commissioned officers files or the from the depth build files if you are in the government of GMODISM too. So you now have a download option as well on the new support page, which is the government. Yeah, well, links in description if you want to check that out. So let us get into this then. What has happened? Well, this is kind of the end results where I have been finicking around, so to say, where you have all of these things. So let's go through this. I'm almost thinking we should perhaps start a new platform, because I realize now this is kind of a mess. All right, let's go through it a little bit quickly here. Here you can see we have optimal armor stickers, but I made alloy, and I think I made alloy. At least made heavy armor versions as well. Here we have these beautiful little shapes with alloy. I even added stone variants. And I made this beautiful looking holy shield to stick on things for decorative measures. The backstacked era, I kind of made an end cap and bottom cap versions of it with wood to kind of close off the shape in case one needs that, to just get some era at those positions as well. Yeah, and then I also added turret neck things. As you can see, these guys I added with heavy armor because they were only available in wood, alloy, metal, I think, before. Now it's heavy armor too. Yeah, okay, I'm gonna wipe this platform, my ladies and gents. So here we have, gonna load the prefab. I'm gonna get out of the Slab 12 system. It's old. We can start with what we ended with, the turret wells. So here we have the turret wells. I now put them in block-based turret wells, deck holes, and duct wells. So we looked at that before, the like deck. What is it? The duct wells, right? We looked at that in a previous video. But here now we can see the deck holes. We got heavy armor. T17 down to T7. From T5, it's just the box. You can see this is 5x5. To make for 5, it's just like this. So I feel no prefab needed. Okay, you may disagree, but that's the deck holes. Now available in heavy armor as well. Moving on. By the way, in this, I also made sure that the hard points and stuff is left somewhere else so that it's easier to find them, because it was a little bit jumbled without the folder structure. Right. I created a crazy thing. So you know when you have a turret, actually let's spawn a turret inside of here. We can do the hexa burst like that. And I'm gonna switch to another view so we can kind of see a little bit better. Like that. So here we can see the actual barrel. So then I made this hidden gun barrel armor sleeve. So this is a piece of heavy armor, and you kind of just stick this on top of your barrel. Excellent. And when you go back to visual, ta-da! It's like it's not visible, but you get the protective effects. So it's a hidden gun sleeve. Yeah, I thought that was pretty neat. Then what we made is on the... I don't know if I show you this. We have an Alpha Corp EMP Surge Protector node. So if you have a node network, I made this little EMP sponge that just sucks up everything from this heavy armor block. And can't go back, of course, because it's a single block connection. I think I showed you that. Well, here inside we have Spool catch. So we have it's the Q8 system, and that is because it's a quad 8. As can be easily measured on the platform, which may or may not be released when you're watching this. So we have heavy armor backed by metal. This is probably the most min-max efficient type. This is the heavy type. And then we have Spool catcher metal, which is absolutely acceptable. And then we have a Spool catcher alloy, which is not great, but, you know, pretty okay if you're dealing with an airship. So that's the Spool catchers. Then we have the offset onion armor. So as said, here we have the alloy. And you can kind of stack them on top of each other like this if you want to build cool shapes. Or just make like a side. I'm gonna use this to make a side of a of an airship. Pretty min-maxed and cool looking. And if you want to be real cheap, like 240 materials, and you can get this. This one is stackable. This is not usable with the other type, because then you'll see the wood blocks in between. But you can like switch between these different variants as well when aligned properly. Yeah, but that's kind of nice. Max HP. Then I made it with stone, of course, in our Metropolis ultralight concrete color, which I developed. We got a wood metal, kind of my favorite. The composite variance is only available for the slope. When it comes to the non-sloped, we have to have this, because otherwise you see the layer, this layer coming up from behind, and it looks jank. Then we got wood and metal. And as said, if you're a commissioned officer in the government, you can access these files for free. Someone joined us on YouTube in the ECCLESIARCHY, so you can see videos early access. Thank you very much, by the way, and thought you could access the files. That's not how it works, because there is no way for me to kind of have an integration for that works. Otherwise, it would be a good idea, but it's not practical. So yeah, yeah. If you want to get the files, it's the government or it's the commissioned officers. And if you want to get them anyways, just wait for me to upload a build that kind of contains this, and you can just copy them yourself. Since I do use my own templates a lot. Right. Yeah, a lot of people have done some cool things with the Gimli class and just used turrets from the Gimli and used them on actually challengers against the Gimli, which was hilarious. Right, so explosive reactive armor set. Here we have the Q8 variant. So here's a simple backstacked era layer. And the red area, that basically means towards hull. So if you're going to build to the outside, you're going to paste them in this direction. So you kind of face the outside like that. And that's how it works. That's why it's painted red, the thing that's going to go against the enemy. And that's because, again, we're going to look at that in a video in the future. There is a reason why we backstacked the era. Ended up saving this, as I said. It's a good long haul type of armor. It will hold up for a long time. Then we have the smart backstacked era, which is 8 wide but 6 high for a little bit more crammed spaces. And then we have the optimal era beam stagger cluster, the C4. So it's 4 because it's 4 wide and C as in cluster. So then you can see you basically do like this. You have to align them. So this is a gap. You don't want the gap. Now this is the optimal kind of orientation. You can put them in this orientation as well. But then you really have to make sure that this is the front side and this is the back side. Because otherwise when enemies come in from here, they will have an open access to you. But when they come from here, they will not have an open access. So they are a little bit versatile like that. And this is the mix variant. We have metal for optimal armor. And then we have alloy for float. Then I also made the wood cluster because it's so incredibly cheap and still has great anti-penetration capabilities against, well, any railgun. And you can see it is painted red as well. So we can pretty quickly make a slab like this. And I made a completely crazy little thing here, which is heavy armor, onion layered with metal for really heavy armor, heavy duty. Then we have the top seal and bottom seal. So it's basically like this, you know. We're having this this shape here, and it fits right in between like that. Makes a perfect top shape, and it's actually a little bit more developed for these guys. Now I turn them around like that, because I have a wood variant as well. And then I, of course, have the bottom. We can look at the bottom seal of wood instead, so you can see both of them. Now I need to turn it back. And it's just adding a nice bottom seal like that. I thought it was a pretty handy system. I don't know, maybe you won't, but I'm gonna use it in some future stuff. So then we go to the armor stickers, and they are kind of the same, but they are different variants. So we have metal and heavy armor, metal and heavy armor, metal and heavy armor, and yeah. So we can look at, we don't need to look at all of them, you know. This is metal like that, and we have the, we can look at the B, mix them up. Wait, did I? No, okay, good. We did a metal, whatever. Then I made the, I call this shape the buckler. I made the heavy armor ones with color 8, so they're shiny and nice. And we have the parallelogram as well. I think it looks real cool. It's a shame we can't place it there. You have to have a little gap. Will look great against the side of ships. And you know, I have my AOG colors on the platform. So when you get the platform, you will be able to access this color palette as well, if you like it. If you don't like it, you can easily change the color palette, and you will see your colors represented here. And when you save your platform, it will be apparent. But yeah, basically, I really like the silver, gold, bronze combo. So then I'm gonna think, then I think like I can repaint some of them, and I can have a really nice design. According to me, it's up to taste. Then we have the chevron, which I think looks great on the side of a ship like that. Looks like this. Really cool interlocking shape, and that you can boost your armor using this method is just really cool. And that's just basically them. Since they are surface armor, we do only provide them in heavy armor and metal, because those are your to-go armor blocks. Whoa! And they're not very heavy since they're pretty thin as well. In any case, then after the armor stickers, we have the anti-penetration armor. So here we have the block spikes, and the same goes to here. We of course have the maximum anti-spool and anti-penetration blocks, anti-stuff, which is metal and heavy armor, so we provide them here. And I made a nice pattern because why not? At least I care about the aesthetics of internal components you can't see. Maybe even more so sometimes. And then of course the Q8 drill armor total penetration blocker. This is definitely seen as cheese armor by some, but yeah, a lot of people use it too. And this I'm gonna use for really large, like meme type battleships that are just crazy cost. Stuff that we're gonna use to go up against Zeus Stellarion and similar sized ships. And maybe we can make a ship that can beat our own S. Davidos. Made in the honor of Chancellor Super Dave back in the day when Super Dave was an admiral in the AOG. Right, I think that's basically it, you know? I hope. Did I forget something? Probably I did. I did forget something. So let me show you. I did put that in the decorative like section, the superstructure. So that is of course the Holy Heavy Armor Shield. We do already have the Holy Alloy Shield, which is used extensively on the Gimli class. But this is the Holy Heavy Armor Shield. And yes, it uses those min-max blocks here, but they also contain munition warners and laser warners. Insulated and all with EMP surge protectors, and they are backed with the alloy, so it's not optimal armor. It's more for decoration for really large ships. Yeah. And of course the basic shapes. So right here under hull I included this. Here we have all the different hull components. So perhaps it is a good idea to let's say we start on a new vehicle and I can show you them in action a little bit. So we, for example, have the flat hull here. So perhaps we should do, okay, well, never mind. We can add up shapes like this, and then we have the 1 meter slope. So that kind of connects like that. Now that's a little bit steep, so of course we're gonna use the 4-meter slope instead. And we're gonna go over to the 3-meter slope. And then we can do the like 1-meter slope. And then we can cover up the last parts ourselves. Just like that, so we can kind of get a basic shape. Then we have, I really struggled finding names for this, but rhomboid slope is what we can call this. So, and that now, I wouldn't maybe place it there, but yeah, so then we kind of get shapes like this. And we could follow up using, is it a 2-meter offset? No, it's probably the 3-meter offset. Right. It's a bit long. Yeah, like that. And then we can kind of remove this piece by right-click, and we can select the 4-meter offset. So we can cut off there, and yeah, you can kind of see this looks more like the bottom of the hull, but yeah. That's kind of what it's meant to do. And we can, of course, repaint it later. And this should be turned upside down. It's like the capsized catastrophe from Shield Cat, I think it was, in the Gimlet tournament, you know, upside down ship. Yeah. Anyways, that's stuff we can do with that. I think I showed you everything now. You know what, let's just pretend it's everything yeah. So, thanks all for watching. I'm gonna see you in future videos. We're gonna look at the new laser systems. That's a hint for those of you who can access the files. But big thanks for watching, and I'll see you in future videos. If you want to support the channel more than liking the video, which I'll be very happy if you do, and stuff like that, you can of course slide into the description and check out the other support options and you know, merch and that crap if anyone cares about it. You shouldn't probably care about it, but if you think it's fun, it's in there. In any case, this is your host Eric, and I'm signing out. I'll see you next time. AOG Invictus.